Welcome back to EngloPod, the podcast where you build confidence and shape your future. I am your host, and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Yeah, it is wonderful to be here. Hello to all our listeners.
Today, we're going to talk about a very special topic. It is a topic that, well, everyone thinks about. We're going to talk about the future.
The future, it is a big mystery.
It really is a huge mystery. And I want to ask you, the listener, a question. Do you try to guess what will happen tomorrow? Or, do you try to guess what will happen next year?
I think we all do that. We wake up and we think, will it rain today? Or maybe we think, will I get a promotion at my job next year?
Exactly. We all want to know what is coming. We want to be ready. So today, we are telling a true story. It is a story about a man named Philip Tetlock.
Right, Philip Tetlock. He is a professor. He is a researcher. He is a man who really loves to ask questions.
And his big question was very simple, but it was also very difficult. He asked, can we really know the future? Can we predict it?
That is a very important word, predict.
Yes. Let us stop here for a moment. We need to understand this word. What does predict mean?
To predict means to say what will happen in the future. You speak before it happens.
Right.
For example, I predict that the sun will rise tomorrow morning. Or I predict that my favorite football team will win the game on Saturday.
Okay. So prediction is a guess about the future. But sometimes we hear another word. We hear the word forecast.
Yes, forecast.
Like on the news, we hear the weather forecast. Is that different?
It is a little different, yeah. A forecast is also a prediction, but usually a forecast uses science, it uses data, it uses mathematics.
Can you give us an example of that?
Sure. Think about the weatherman on television. He does not just look out the window and guess.
No, he doesn't.
He looks at the clouds, he looks at the temperature, he uses a computer. Then he gives a forecast. It is a calculated prediction.
I understand. So if I say, I think my friend will call me, that is a prediction.
Yes.
But if a scientist says it will rain because the humidity is 90%, that is a forecast.
That is a perfect way to think about it.
So let's go back to our story. Philip Tetlock wanted to know the truth about forecasting. He wanted to know if humans are actually good at it. So he started a big investigation.
He wanted to test the people who said they knew the future.
Right. And let's jump right into chapter 1. We call this chapter The Chimp and the Experts.
The Chimp and the Experts. That sounds like a funny title.
It is funny. But the story itself is serious. Philip Tetlock started a big experiment. This was many years ago, back in the 1980s. He found a group of people. He called them experts.
We hear this word a lot. Expert, let us define it clearly for everyone.
Yes, please. What is an expert?
Well, an expert is someone who knows a lot about a specific subject. They have studied for a long time. For example, a doctor is an expert on the human body. A mechanic is an expert on cars. A professor is an expert on history.
Right. So Tetlock found experts in politics and money. These were very famous people.
Yes, these were the people you see on TV all the time.
Exactly.
They wear nice suits. They speak with loud, confident voices. They write big books. They even advise the president.
And Tetlock asked them very clear questions about the future. He asked, will the president win the election again? He asked, will there be a war between these two countries? He asked, will the economy grow next year?
Those are very big questions. Those are questions that change the world.
They are. And because these people were experts, everyone thought they would know the answer.
We naturally trust experts. When a famous person speaks on TV, we believe them. We think he is smart, he must know.
So Tetlock waited. He waited for many, many years. He collected thousands of predictions from these experts. He wrote them all down carefully.
Right.
And then, years later, he checked the results.
He checked to see if they were right or wrong.
Yes. And this is the shocking part. The results were bad.
How bad were they?
They were terrible. Tetlock said that the average expert was not better than a chimpanzee throwing darts at a board.
A chimpanzee? Like a monkey?
Yes, exactly. Imagine a monkey. You put a list of answers on the wall. Yes, no, and maybe.
Okay.
You give the monkey a little dart, and the monkey throws the dart at the wall.
But the monkey does not know politics. The monkey is just playing a game.
Exactly. The monkey is choosing by chance. It is random.
Random. That is a very key word for this story.
Yes, it is. Can you explain random to us?
Random means without a plan. It happens purely by chance.
Right.
Think about flipping a coin. You have heads on one side and you have tails on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
When you flip it into the air, you do not know which side will come up. It is completely random.
So are you saying the famous TV experts were just guessing? Just like flipping a coin?
Basically, yes. Tetlock found that the experts were not better than random guessing.
That is frightening. We listen to these people every single day. We make big plans based on what they say.
It is frightening, but it teaches us a very important lesson.
What is that?
Just because someone is famous or just because someone is confident, it does not mean they actually know the future.
That is so true. So the experts failed. The monkey was just as good as them. But looking at the data, Tetlock saw something interesting.
What did he see?
Not everyone failed.
That is right. Most experts were bad. But a very small group of people were a little bit better.
And this leads us to chapter 2. We call this The Fox and the Hedgehog.
I really love this part. It uses animals to explain how people think.
Tetlock noticed 2 different types of thinkers. He used an analogy.
Analogy, that is a very useful word.
Yes. What is an analogy?
An analogy is when you compare 2 things to explain an idea.
Okay. Can you give an example?
For example, if I say life is like a box of chocolates, that is an analogy. I am comparing life to candy to explain that life is full of surprises.
Oh, I see. So Tetlock used an analogy with animals, the hedgehog and the fox.
Yes. This idea actually comes from an old Greek poem. The poem says, "The fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing."
Let's look at the hedgehog first. What exactly is a hedgehog?
A hedgehog is a small animal. It has sharp spikes on its back. It moves slowly. It is a simple animal. When it is scared, it does only one thing. It rolls into a tight ball.
So how is a person like a hedgehog?
A hedgehog person has one big idea. They think everything happens for one reason. They see the entire world in a very simple way.
Can you give me an example of a hedgehog thinker?
Sure. Imagine an expert on the economy. He is a hedgehog. He believes money is the only thing that matters. That is his one big idea.
So he looks at everything through that one idea.
Yes, exactly. If you ask him about war, he talks about money.
Right.
If you ask him about happiness, he talks about money. If you ask him about politics, he talks about money.
You sound stubborn.
He is very stubborn. He does not change his mind easily. He is very confident. He says, I know the answer. It is always money.
And hedgehogs are very popular on TV, right? Because they give simple answers.
Yes, TV producers love simple answers.
Okay, so that is the hedgehog. Now, what about the fox?
The fox is very different. Foxes are clever, they run fast, they hunt many different kinds of animals. They hide, they look carefully at the environment around them.
So a fox person knows many little things.
Yes, the fox looks at many sides of a problem.
Like what?
They look at politics, they look at culture, they look at history, they look at psychology, they look at everything.
There is a really good word for this. Multifaceted.
Multifaceted, yes, that is a beautiful word.
Let's break it down for the listener. Multifaceted.
Okay. Multi means many.
Right.
And facet means face or side. Think of a diamond. A diamond has many sides that catch the light.
Yes, the flat sides.
Exactly. So multifaceted means having many sides.
And a fox thinker is multifaceted. They see the many different sides of the world.
Exactly. If you ask a fox about the future, they say, well, it is complicated. The economy is important, but the people are angry and the president is sick. Many things matter.
So in the experiment, who won the contest? The hedgehog or the fox?
The foxes won. In the study, the people who thought like foxes were much better at predicting the future.
Why is that?
Because the real world is complicated. The world is not simple. Right. If you only have one idea, you miss the truth. The foxes saw all the small details.
That makes perfect sense. The hedgehog tries to force the world to be simple, but the fox accepts that the world is messy.
Correct. And the success of the foxes led Tetlock to try a completely new experiment, a much bigger one.
Which brings us to Chapter 3, the Superforecasters.
Superforecasters. It sounds like a superhero team from a comic book.
It does. But they are not superheroes. They're just regular people.
Tell me about this second experiment.
Well, Tetlock gathered thousands of people. But this time, he did not ask the famous experts on television. He asked regular, normal people.
Regular people, like our listeners.
Yes, exactly like our listeners. Teachers, mechanics, painters, truck drivers, retired people sitting at home.
People who never go on television.
Right. And he gave them the exact same hard questions. Will the price of oil go up? Will there be a conflict in Europe?
And what happened with the regular people?
He found a small group of these regular people who were simply amazing. They were incredible at predicting the future.
Were they better than the TV experts?
Much, much better. They were better than the TV experts. They were better than university professors. They were even better than government spies who hid secret information.
Wow. Regular people were beating the top professionals.
Yes. Tetlock called this special group the Superforecasters.
That is fascinating. But why were they so good? What was their secret?
Well, remember the fox?
Yes, the animal that looks at everything.
Exactly. They were all foxes. They looked at the whole picture.
You were curious.
Yes. They really wanted to learn. They did not have big egos. They knew they could be wrong, and they were okay with that.
It is inspiring. It means you do not need to be famous or have a big degree to understand the world. You just need to think clearly.
Exactly. So let's talk about how they think. What mental tools do they use? This brings us to Chapter 4, speaking in numbers.
Numbers. Mathematics. You know, some people are very scared of math.
Do not worry. This is very simple math. It is mostly about how we speak.
Okay. How do bad forecasters speak?
Bad forecasters use words that are vague.
Vague.
Please define vague for us.
Vague means not clear. It is foggy. For example, if I say, I will come to your house sometime, that is vague. When? Today. Next year. I do not say exactly when.
Right. Or if you look at the sky and say, it might rain.
Might. That is a very vague word. Does it mean a small chance or a big chance? We simply do not know.
Exactly. If I say, it might rain, and then it rains, I can say, see, I was right.
Yes.
But if it stays sunny, I can say, see, I said it might rain, not that it would rain. I am still right.
You are never wrong if you use vague words. You are totally safe.
But super forecasters are different. They are brave. They use numbers. They use percentages.
Give me an example of that.
Instead of saying, it might rain, a super forecaster says, there is a 70% chance of rain.
70%? That is very specific.
Yes. Or instead of saying, the team will probably win, they say, the team has a 65% chance to win.
Why is this better?
Because it helps you measure your skill.
Measure your skill? You mean like keeping a score in a game?
Exactly like that. If you say 70% chance of rain, and it rains, you get a good score.
Right.
But if you say 90% chance of rain, and it is sunny all day, you know you were wrong.
Ah, I see. The number forces you to be honest. You cannot hide behind vague words anymore.
Exactly. It helps you keep score. And if you keep score, you can improve. You can learn from your mistakes.
That is very important. To learn anything, we must first admit when we are wrong.
And speaking of learning, that is the next big secret. Chapter 5. Changing your mind.
Changing your mind. You know, many people think changing your mind is a sign of weakness.
Yes, they do, especially in politics. If a leader changes their mind, people point at them and say, he is weak. He does not know what he believes.
But for super forecasters, changing your mind is an actual superpower.
They are flexible.
Flexible. Let us define that.
What is flexible?
Flexible means able to change easily. Think of a yoga teacher. Their body is flexible. It can bend without breaking.
Right, like a tree.
Exactly. Think of a tree in the wind. It bends. It is flexible. A rock is not flexible.
So a super forecaster has a flexible mind.
Yes. They're willing to change their opinion when they get new information.
Let's use a story to explain this clearly. We can call it the school closing story.
Okay. I am listening.
Imagine you are a parent. It is winter. You want to know, will the school be closed tomorrow because of the snow?
Okay. This is a very common problem.
Step 1. It is Sunday night. You look outside. It is cold, but there is no snow falling at all. You make a guess. What is the chance school closes?
Well, if there is no snow yet, maybe 10%. A very low chance.
Okay, your prediction is 10%. Now, step 2. You turn on the radio. The weatherman says, a big storm is coming tonight.
Ooh, that is new information.
What do? Do you keep your number at 10%?
No, absolutely not. That would be foolish. I must change my number. Now I think maybe it is a 40% chance.
Good. You are being flexible. Step 3. You check your phone. You see a message from the school principal. It says, we are checking the roads to see if they are safe.
Wow, the principal is worried. This is strong evidence.
Right.
I am updating my number again. Now I say 60%.
Step 4. You look out the window. Snow is falling. It is falling fast. The roads are completely white.
Okay, now it is very likely. I predict 90%.
See what you did there? You started at 10%. You ended at 90%. You changed your number 3 times.
Because I got new news 3 times.
Exactly. This is a special rule in forecasting. It is called Bayes' theorem.
Bayes. That sounds like a complicated math rule.
It can be complicated to calculate exactly,
Right.
but the idea is simple. It just means when you get new information, you must update your prediction.
It sounds obvious when you explain it, but do people do this in real life?
Bad forecasters do not. Remember the hedgehog?
The stubborn one?
Yes. The hedgehog says, school will close right at the beginning. If the sun comes out and melts the snow, he still says, school will close. He ignores the news.
Or he says school will stay open, and he completely ignores the heavy snow. He only sees what he wants to see.
Right. Bad forecasters keep their old prediction. Super forecasters update their prediction. They are like a river. They keep moving.
That is beautiful. Be a river, not a rock.
Now, let's look at another tool they use. Chapter 6, the outside view.
The outside view, as opposed to the inside view.
Yes, this is all about perspective.
Perspective. Let's make sure that is clear.
Define perspective, please.
Perspective is the way you see something. It is your point of view.
Right.
If you stand on top of a mountain, you have a completely different perspective than if you stand down in the valley.
Super forecasters have a very special perspective. Let's try a scenario to explain this one.
Okay, another scenario. Let's do it.
Imagine a new company. Let's call it Company A. They make electric bicycles. You want to predict, will Company A succeed? Will they be rich?
Okay. I want to know if they will make money.
Most people use the inside view. They look inside the company. They look at the boss.
And they say, oh, the boss is smart.
They look at the team.
They say the team works really hard.
They look at the bicycles.
They say the bicycles look very cool.
So they think, this company looks great. I predict 100% success.
That seems logical. Why is it wrong?
Because you are too close to it. You are only looking at the details of this specific story. You are ignoring the rest of the entire world.
So what is the outside view then?
The outside view means you ignore the specific details for a moment. You look at the statistics of the world. You look at other companies.
Ah. So instead of looking at just Company A, I ask, how many new electric bicycle companies usually succeed?
Exactly. You look at the history of all companies. Statistics show that 90% of new companies fail.
90% fail. Wow. That is a very high number.
Yes, it is. So the outside view tells you most companies fail.
So even if the boss is smart and the bikes are cool, the real chance of success is still low.
Yes. The super forecaster starts with the outside view. They start with the basic statistic. They say, most companies fail, so I will start my guess at 10% success.
And then they can adjust their number.
Yes. Then they can look at the smart boss and move up to 15% or maybe 20%. But they do not start at 100%.
That is very smart. Do not just look at the story. Look at the numbers.
The big takeaway here is do not get lost in the details. Look at the big picture first.
This is very helpful for real life, too. When we get married or start a new restaurant, we always think we are special.
But usually, we are just like everyone else.
That is very humbling to realize.
Now let's talk about the enemies. Chapter 7. The enemies of good prediction.
The enemies. The mental traps that make us fail.
Yes. And the first enemy is overconfidence.
Being too confident.
You have to be careful of people who are 100% sure.
We talked about this idea earlier. Certainty.
Certainty.
Certainty means being 100% sure. having no doubt at all.
But the world is full of uncertainty. Nothing is 100%. Even the sun rising is only 99.9%.
True. If someone comes to you and says, I am certain this stock will go up, you should run away. They are lying to you or they are foolish.
Always leave room for error. The superforecaster says 70%, not 100%. They intentionally leave 30% for being wrong.
What is the second enemy?
The second enemy is confirmation bias.
That is a big phrase. Bias.
Let's define bias first.
A bias is an unfair preference. It is like wearing colored glasses. If you wear blue glasses, everything you see looks blue. You are biased toward blue. You cannot see the real colors.
So confirmation bias is a specific type of this. It means you only search for information that proves you are already right. You want to confirm your own idea.
Ah, I know this one.
Tell me.
If I deeply believe eating chocolate is healthy, I will go to Google and I will type why chocolate is good for you.
Exactly. And what will you find when you type that?
I will find articles that say it is good, and I will feel very happy.
But you will completely ignore the articles that say sugar is bad for you.
Yes. I am protecting my idea. I am not looking for the truth.
Superforecasters do the exact opposite. They try to prove themselves wrong.
That sounds hard. It actually hurts to prove yourself wrong.
It is very hard. It takes discipline. If they think the price of oil will go up, they go to Google and search why the price of oil will go down.
They actively look for the other side. They want to see if their idea is actually strong.
Yes. If you only ever look for yes, you will never find the no.
That is great advice. What is the third enemy?
Linear thinking.
Linear, like a line.
Yes. Thinking in a simple straight line. A causes B, and B causes C. It is just too simple.
But the real world is messy. Things bump into each other.
Which leads us perfectly to our final chapter. Chapter 8, The Unpredictable World.
Because sometimes, no matter how good you are, you simply cannot predict the future.
That is right, because of the black swan.
The black swan. This is a very famous idea from a writer named Nassim Taleb.
Most swans, those are the big birds that swim gracefully in lakes. Most of them are white.
Yes. For a very long time, people in Europe thought all swans were white. They were certain.
But then explorers traveled to Australia, and they found a black swan. It was a complete shock. It changed their science forever.
So a black swan event is a massive surprise.
Yes, it is something very rare.
Rare.
Let's define rare.
Rare means not happening often.
Right.
Diamonds are rare. A blue moon is rare.
A black swan is a rare event that changes everything completely. Think about the attacks on September 11th.
No one predicted that. It changed the entire world in a single day.
Think about the 2008 economic crisis.
Right.
Or think about COVID-19.
COVID-19 is a perfect example. One day, we are all living normal lives. We go out to restaurants. We travel on planes.
Right.
The next day, the whole world just stops. No expert accurately predicted that in 2019.
These events come from the unknown. You cannot calculate them with simple percentages.
So even superforecasters cannot predict black swans.
No, they cannot. Nobody can.
And there is another reason the world is hard to predict, right? The butterfly effect.
Yes. Chaos theory.
The idea is that a small butterfly flaps its little wings in Brazil. It moves the air just a tiny bit.
And that tiny wind hits another wind, and then another. And 2 weeks later, it causes a giant tornado in Texas.
Small changes cause huge results.
Exactly. Because the world is so connected, we cannot measure every single butterfly. We cannot measure every small detail in the world.
So predicting the far future, like 10 years from now, is impossible.
It is very, very hard.
Yeah.
But predicting the near future, like next week, next month, next year, that is a skill.
It is a skill we can actually practice.
So we have learned a lot today. We learned about the chimp, the fox, the hedgehog, and the superforecasters.
We learned about using numbers and being flexible like a river.
Now we want to help you, the listener. How can you use this in your daily life?
Let's give them some concrete practice steps.
Practice step number 1. Use numbers.
Next time you guess something, use a percentage. Do not just say, my team will win.
Say, my team has a 65% chance to win.
Or, I have an 80% chance of finishing my homework tonight.
It feels strange at first, but it really makes you think clearly. It makes you honest with yourself.
Practice step number 2. Be a fox.
When you have a problem, do not just look at one reason. Try to find 3 entirely different perspectives.
If you are arguing with a friend, look at it from your side. Look at it from their side. And look at it from a stranger's side.
Be multifaceted. Be deeply curious.
Practice step number 3, update.
Do not be stubborn like the hedgehog. When you see new news, change your percentage.
If it starts raining, admit that your prediction of sun was wrong. Update your mind.
Being wrong is okay. Staying wrong is foolish.
That is really good advice.
Okay. Are you ready for a little test? We're going to do a quick quiz to see if you were listening carefully.
I am ready. Let's do it.
Question 1. In the first experiment, who was better at predicting? The famous TV experts or the random guesswork of the chimp?
I will give the listener a moment to think. The answer is the chimp. Or, to be totally accurate, they were equal. The famous experts were not better than random chance.
Correct. Fame does not mean accuracy. Question 2. What animal represents a person who knows many little things and is very flexible?
Is it the hedgehog or the fox? The answer is the fox. The fox is flexible and curious. The hedgehog only knows one big thing.
Question 3. What should you do when you get new information?
Should you ignore it to protect your ego? Or should you update your prediction? The answer is update your prediction. Change your mind using Bayes' rule.
Fantastic. If you got those right, you are well on your way to being a super forecaster.
This was a really fascinating discussion today. I learned a lot about how my own brain works.
It really was. My final thought for today is this. Prediction is like a muscle.
Like a muscle in your arm.
Yes. If you do not use it, it gets weak. But if you exercise it, if you practice guessing and then checking your answers, it gets strong.
So keep guessing, keep checking, and keep learning.
Thank you for joining us on EngloPod. We hope this story helps you think about the future in a totally new way. Stay curious.
See you next time.
See you next time.